So I guess our goal here is to shut down the camp permanently, right?
That's our
Um,
end.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Your end goal is to shut it down. You also want to bring back evidence.
Yes.
Because you can go back to Axide and say, "Oh my goodness, there are these big robots out there doing logging," but what is that going to do for Axide legally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
So,
that-
So we need to get a recordings.
Yeah.
Plus,
Is
anything
the,
you shut down, presumably they can rebuild.
Yeah.
I think that,
Go ahead, Sean.
shoot,
Okay,
it was in the
so
chat, that
we need to
foreman
do
guy
some
might help.
document theft, which looks like I'm probably pretty. Looks like I'm probably the best candidate to do that one.
Yeah.
Because it's deception or thievery, and I don't know how good you all are at those two, but I'm pretty good at them.
Mm.
Eavesdropping. I think any of us can pretty much claim that one.
Yeah.
Probably someone better than me. I think case the worksite, like probably.
So, case the worksite
Chingagi's-
doesn't. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
Sorry.
case the worksite doesn't gain you any points, but it does give a bonus to another check. So you're spending time to aid, basically.
okay.
Can you aid
Can I?
allies too? Sorry,
I
Dan.
think that's what case basically is.
Yeah, and it's better because it's a DC 18 and it's a +2. So
Yeah. I mean, I can eavesdrop perception pretty well, and we don't need to avoid notice, so I think I'll do that. I have a good check for that.
I have Arcana. I don't know if anybody else has Arcana crafting or engineering lore. Are you an engineer,
No.
Bomba? I can't remember.
No, my best skills for this is going to be deception, so I'm not going to be as proficient as you are. I've got +13, but that's my best skill that's relevant to this. To these
I
things.
can try Arcana then, and then maybe you can go for the document theft. Try to convince them that
Yeah.
you need it. What about you, Danya?
Like, I'm like, how can I use, like, look at stuff?
That's eavesdrop.
No,
So-
yeah, I was like, is there some way that I can, like, divine who's the best person to, like, poke at stuff? But I'm not sure it would help with any of this. I've
Seems
got...
like casing.
What?
That seems like casing the worksite to me.
I know, but are we
Using
good
divine
with the...
powers to see what's up.
Yeah, but we can actually, we're allowed to walk around. I'm clicking the wrong thing at this point, sorry.
yeah, I put you back on the work site.
Yeah.
So if you want to say, I want to go over here and check out this
Yeah.
construct. Or something.
I mean,
But we have to do the Reconnaissance check and the avoid notice check, right?
So because y'all have done such a good job convincing them that they are
we could do whatever.
generating a plague,
Let's see.
we'll forego the avoid notice unless you blunder really badly on
Okay,
something.
sorry, I missed that. Okay, cool.
All right.
So is everything,
I guess
I
so.
can case, but is everything else covered?
I don't think studying the constructs are currently covered.
I'm
Yeah, that would be a good
thing
that
to do.
instead.
I could, I mean,
Unless Danya, do you have better Arcana crafting or engineering? I'm at least trained.
Hold on.
I will try for Arcana on the machines. I'm giving my. I'm gonna
Does
try.
anybody want to case
Arcana.
first? Is anybody casing? We should do that first to figure out who to give the
Right.
Yeah,
bonus
we've got lots of time, haven't we?
I can,
so
I can.
we can do multiple of these.
Arcana, crafting, engineering. Can I look into the future to see how something is how it isn't constructed in the future? No. Okay, I'll just
How
help
is
with
this going to
casing.
break? All right, Daniel, let's get a check to case.
Let's see. Perception, survival. Oh, survival case. I'll use that. Those. Do you need those secret?
These can be public.
Okay. Oh.
Oh,
Ooh.
Can I hear?
yeah, you're-
that?
You can hero point that, sure.
Well, that's better
Yeah.
than one.
Okay. There's a
Much better.
success, so somebody's going to get a +2 circumstance bonus. Who should that go to?
Oh, is it for not for everyone, or is it just?
Yeah, it's one reconnoiter or avoid notice check.
Oh, okay. I feel like stealing documents is probably the most.
Yeah,
Critical
I could
of
probably
them,
do
yeah.
with a little bit
Yeah.
of help with that.
Yeah. All right, go
Yeah, because
ahead.
I was gonna case the worksite to give myself +2 if I could, for that exact reason.
Okay.
Well, you can, but you that would be the next round,
Yeah.
right? Because each of
Yeah,
these
yeah.
takes a certain number of hours. So
Yeah.
yeah, why don't you go ahead and
Okay.
try stealing documents? Give yourself a +2.
Okay, so Bomber's gonna sneak around. He's small and kind of gonna try and remain inconspicuous.
All right, very inconspicuous. You pick up some documents. They confirm a lot of what you've learned so far, but it puts some evidence there, so that's good.
All right.
Tuck those away.
I guess I'll roll for eavesdropping. I'll just be paying attention, maybe using the recorder as part of it if I feel
Yeah.
like there's saying anything interesting.
Nice.
Hey.
Ooh, all right,
Ooh.
there's a crit success for a. This is eavesdropping, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a crit success. Yeah, you're able to overhear some of the technicians. You're of course inspecting the lumber. They allow you into the constructs to look for signs of infection there. And yeah, you're also getting some useful information from them.
Great.
I think
Let's
that
go.
leaves us with Artemis.
Yeah, and I'm studying the constructs. Would I be able to? So I have invisibility prepared. If I prepared it and then like broke something inside of the thing and then walked over and noticed the thing that was broken, to justify getting a closer look,
Uh-huh.
I will attempt to do that if it will.
Let's see. Why don't you make a thievery check first, and we'll say you're aiding
Okay.
yourself.
I like it. All right, come on, thievery.
Oh.
Okay, so I knock over the construct in the process.
Somehow you critically fail at breaking something.
You fixed
Just make it
I
better.
think you hurt
Yeah.
yourself, I
Fixed it.
think.
More efficient.
Like, oh,
Oh,
they
no.
didn't
Right.
think to do that.
Let's say that doesn't penalize your roll, but they're starting to get a little suspicious, maybe. Okay, you do manage to get over there, study the constructs. You're talking to them, and so you are able to finish out this round with 4 reconnaissance points, which unlocks your first bit of information. And actually, let's go back one. Dim, I think you were eavesdropping.
Yeah.
So eavesdropping only takes 2 hours. Everybody else's activities have been taking 4 hours. So why don't we say you can eavesdrop twice?
Ooh.
I'll eavesdrop again.
Okay, that's another success. So that'll put you up to 5 reconnaissance points. So you all kind of gather back together after 4 hours. You, of course, don't have to be secretive about it. You're like, oh, I have to go meet with my colleague.
Yeah.
You have been able to verify that these constructs are prototypes being developed by the Cortos Consortium. So that tracks. You know that Cortos has been in league with Abjuration Associates before. This just confirms that, yes, the business entity behind this is Cortos Consortium. So at the very least, when you get back to Maravan, you'll be able to point the finger at their headquarters and say they are engaging in some arcane innovations to replace good, honest humanoid workers. So you've got the very bare bones thing that you needed.
Great. Okay.
What does everybody do for the second round of recon?
I think we
Let's see.
do. We need more proof than us just saying that. I suspect.
Well, and you've got documentation to prove
Okay.
it as well at this point. Like you've got signed, notarized documents,
them!
and you've
They
got
did
enough
it!
inside knowledge that it sounds appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it again. Maybe I'll do it as well, I don't think I can do it as a squirrel, but the wild shape thing.
You could wild shape into a squirrel. That's why you got it.
I was thinking because then it takes 10 minutes, right? And wild shape is
yeah.
No,
I think.
oh yeah, it lasts for 10 minutes. That's right.
The the whatever form, the small creature form, right?
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
Yeah, there's. Then you said we get a feat that
Test
we
form.
can use.
Yeah, something up to your level that requires wild shape as a prereq. So like if you wanted to say, oh no, wait, I want to be able to turn into a this, they've got those
Okay.
other options.
I was thinking of getting form control, but I don't meet the strength requirements. Which would help me stay in a squirrel form for longer.
Yeah.
I can't get it.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I'll just eavesdrop again if no one else has anything.
Well, I guess what are we aiming for next? Or okay, we're just looking around.
We're
Okay.
just figuring out.
Ooh.
I think we're just looking for more.
There's a
information.
critical success.
I'm gonna
Seeing
guess
like
it's
what
something.
can we find around here that would be more evidence to support the case. We need to be we need to have a solid argument here. Solid as stone.
And you are able to build up that argument. Like you're able to eavesdrop and find out, okay, so there's going to be a document here. It looks like there's maybe a prototype piece over here we can steal. You're getting ideas for what everybody else should do.
Can
Things to steal. I'll do that.
I
Okay.
was going to say, is anybody going after the constructs again? That's the most difficult check, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
So
That is
I'm going to
nice.
case the work site to give whoever's going after the constructs a +2, I
I
think.
mean, Arcane
Very good.
crafting and engineering, like I don't do any of that.
So I'll
Well,
quickly.
you can also
Can we do other things too? We could like make up a thing.
Sure. You can make up
So-
a thing.
I'm just gonna spitball here. The foreman, he
That's a
doesn't
ranged
seem
attack.
happy with this stuff.
He does not.
Can we flip him
You want to
somehow?
work the foreman? Yeah.
That's
a good idea.
I'm into it.
So so that's where I added the Coke's information, because we lost him. We'll pause for a second.
Sorry.
Helen, do you need to do any video rearranging, or does it put us back appropriately?
I did not put
Alright.
names on anybody, so I didn't have to deal with this.
Okay.
Great success.
In a future, I should be more professional and have this problem. But yeah.
That's just creating problems. So that's where I added eavesdrop / Coke's information.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you could use deception or some sort of relevant lore to try to bring this guy to your side. And yeah, let's say if you crit succeed, he's starting to reconsider his loyalties.
Ooh.
Let's see. I'm not good at deception, but I'm good at intimidation.
Okay,
Who's good
I'll
at
up the-
deception
I'll
on the
up the
team,
D-
though? Like,
I'll up
I'm
the
proposing the idea. I'm not saying I'm necessarily the doer of the idea. Or
It
I
should
could-
be you're stoking their insecurities.
Yeah,
with
that
your
like just
intimidation.
Yeah.
pushing them
Okay.
towards.
we can make it
I'd love to
intimidation
follow up
and
on that.
raise the DC a little bit.
Yeah. You know, like I said, Helen has ranks of middle management, not Danya. I know how this is. I know how this is played. What you've got to say. You know, they don't appreciate what's going on here. You need to be you're here, you see what's going on, and now you're dealing with this. I mean, we're trying to help you out, help everybody out here. This stupid plague stuff that's going, this is scary. You shouldn't have had to handle this, and you know,
Stupid
this is not your
plague.
place. I don't know. Trying to intimidate that. I don't know. Is that worth doing something like that? Trying to flip them to come back?
Go for it,
You
yeah.
shouldn't have to stand for this. This is not your problem. We should get rid of these machines. This is not your machines. Aren't your job.
You should come manage the Orcs of Axside.
Yeah, you know what? They could use someone of your skills. That's a better place for you. Yeah. Okay.
Would you like to run for town council?
Oh man, let's really
Oh my god, yeah, let's get him.
take
It's
a
like,
turn
I
for
just
this.
met you.
No, I have no idea. That's a great
All right,
angle lure though. Okay.
All right.
Can
Who,
I? Okay.
who wants to stoke the ego or insecurities?
Actually, that honestly, yeah. That
Okay,
this
go
might
for
have turned more into a diplomacy than an intimidation, but I can roll either of those.
Whichever's higher, go for it.
Oh, whichever's higher, great. I'll go intimidation. There we go.
We'll make it a DC 20.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
and you got it. All right. So that gets you to your next reconnaissance point threshold, and you catch him on a break when he's maybe a little
Yeah,
bit more
yeah.
lax, and he says, time used to be that you would come out to the work site and you would work in honest days shift, and you would take your breaks, and you would go to sleep at night, and you would know that you helped along the world. And what is this future where we just push a button or enter some commands, and we just get lumber? And how long until somebody makes a machine to start carving up that lumber and building houses with it? What are the rest of us gonna do?
I know. I'm not sure. I don't like where this future is. You don't want to see where the future is. You don't want to see it.
All right. That leaves us with Jamie and Tony for round 2.
What's that look, Tony?
I'd quite like to follow up with continuing to try and turn him onto our side, if I may. With
Go for
diplomacy, probably. So I'm gonna approach as well, and I'm gonna say, Gabriel, listen, I want you to look at me, really look at me. Tell me what you see.
Get up on this guy.
Is this a trick question?
No, tell me. You're a smart man. I think we've established that beyond any doubt.
I see. Let me get your image up here. Honestly, sir, I see a sack.
Exactly.
Maybe some stuffing.
Now, if there's anybody here who knows how it feels to be a puppet, it's me.
Oh.
Me and you. Am I right? I know how you feel. I've been underestimated. People have misunderstood me, and I think that you and I are kindred in that sense. I think that you're meant for greater things than this, and I think you know it too. I think you know that what's going on here with the machines is just plain wrong, and there are good folks back at Maravon that could use a man like you. Tell me, these machines, have you ever sat down with one of them across a campfire and traded stories? No, of course you haven't, because they're not real. They're not real people, but there are real people back in that town who will appreciate you for the incredible, super smart supervisor that you are. And I'd like to roll diplomacy on it.
Okay, let's roll some diplomacy.
I'm the pup.
Now let's lower that. Let's lower that DC here.
What am I doing? Okay. Sorry. Okay, there you go.
You're okay.
Nice.
Listen, I was waiting for the right moment to ask this. You can say no if you want. I know it's probably demeaning. I've got a daughter. She's 6. She's coming for a visit tomorrow. Would you be willing to just let her give you a little cuddle?
I don't do hugs.
I'm sure.
I don't do hugs.
That's fair.
But,
I respect that. I had to ask before she got here.
But for you, I'll make an exception.
All right, and let's say that gets you 3 reconnaissance points with your crit success and your acquiescing to his unusual request.
Brilliant.
All right, Tony. The maximum number of reconnaissance points you can get is 12, and y'all are currently at 11.
Okay.
How are you gonna seal the deal here?
The person who coaxed has 2 hours, right?
Correct. That was we had Helen coax for 2 hours, and then we had
That's right. We have all this extra time.
Jamie coax for 2 hours. So
Okay.
And Gog, I think so.
We've just all
Everybody coaxed.
okay, everybody's coax. Y'all are just around the fire talking to this guy, which makes sense. It's probably evening by this point.
That's right.
Okay, so if you all are all coaxing for the second half of your 2 hours, what I would like to try to do is I have a jar of shifting sands where you can cause sand to pour out of a jar at a rate of 1 gallon per round. And I just activate it and it turns on. So if it's possible, while these machines are being repaired, I would like to use invisibility and fill them with sand so that you cannot turn them on anymore. But I might need some distractions.
Oh.
And that's where I'm hoping my teammates can maybe distract the nearby tinkerers so that I can get the sands in the
Yeah, I
the
think I can do
monsters.
some distractions at the same time.
I think I have a great idea. We
Is
have,
now the time for your idea?
perfect.
Right?
Are you? So the effect of this is you cause sand to pour out of the jar at a rate of 1 gallon per round. This doesn't end until the cap is placed back on the jar. Or 2-action activation, you quickly pour sand over an adjacent square, making it difficult terrain. Okay, so one is flavor, you get sand. The other one is an actual thing. Okay, that feels 1 gallon per 2 seconds feels like a lot of sand.
It does.
Yeah, it was one of
It's
those
a go,
items where
eh?
I was like, this seems kind of broken.
For 6
I bet I
seconds,
could have
yeah.
used this.
Oh no, per round, not per action. Per round. That 1 gallon
Yeah.
every 6 seconds.
That feels a lot.
I guess that's about how fast the
No.
sink fills up a gallon
This
of
is
water.
sand. That's heavy.
Yeah, no. Sand. No. I'm just trying to imagine the flow rate. Like,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
actual
Oh, I'm sorry.
amounts
Yes.
I'm not
sorry,
worried
it's
about.
what-
Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine the flow rate. So I guess that's like a spigot of sand. Sand spigot.
But
Imagine
yeah, I think-
trying to
Okay.
get sand out of your engine. How long is that going to take you?
Mm-hmm.
Forever.
yes, I think now is time for
Okay.
zombie bunnies.
So your colleagues have been coaxing this guy, although you do have Dem, I think you were eavesdropping, so
Oh, well,
maybe you can
eavesdropping,
take
you know.
yeah, but you can take your second 2 hours to maybe cause a distraction. What would you do to cause a distraction?
Well, I mean, if we're not doing zombie bunnies, then giant crab, of course.
I was gonna say. I thought it was
Yes.
zombie bunnies.
Oh, you're just
time.
gonna wild shape for the giant crab instead.
The crab's
they're-
back.
We all
Yeah.
do. We all do a little bit.
Okay. With your 31 perception check, you actually notice that the guy who got the crab bite is actually on guard, is actually maintaining one of these things. So you're like, hang on, watch this. You crab it up. And the guy goes, not again! And he books it off into the forest, never to be
Wonderful.
seen again.
I do that, and I keep side walking around the place every once in a while.
Perfect.
Okay.
Once crabbed, twice shy.
And if
So
there's
let's
anybody
say
else,
that-
I'll do the zombie bunnies. But yeah, go team. Okay.
So with that, I think we can say you get your last reconnaissance point because yes, that was plenty extra. So having hit 2 thresholds in 1 round, I don't think I've ever seen that happen with a victory point subsystem before. Uh-oh, we lost him again. There we go.
Very sorry.
You're
I
okay.
might just have to get like a better server.
That was on me.
Oh, okay.
You're okay.
Which does that? Oops. Okay.
So you're able to get the second 2 thresholds. So you feel like you've got plenty of information now. You can start, packing up tomorrow morning. You identify some significant design flaws in the prototypes, like actual design flaws, not your made up
Oh.
infection regulator, right? This information you can use to raise ethical concerns about the use of artificial logging systems. You can also, on this next election cycle, you can use religion on 1 campaign check instead of what the standard check is. And if you do, you get a +2 item bonus on that campaign check. And you also learn, you manage to dig through enough records, you actually find the name of this architect who has been designing these, building them somewhere, not here, because he never comes here, and who has been training the technicians. You learn that these constructs were designed by Verimachius the architect. So let me put those notes into Discord
Got
for
architect in his
posterity.
name. That's convenient.
Is the name familiar?
You would ask that, wouldn't you? You can make a society
maybe?
check, see if you recognize that.
Okay. I don't know if it was supposed to be secret. I just went ahead and rolled it.
I also need to figure out what the DC is. So let me just get you that information here. I'm sorry. I copy pasted something wrong. Something wasn't showing up right on my screen. You also realize that some of this technology looks like it was designed thousands of years ago. Like these constructs, they are using clockwork, they are using mechanisms, but there is also some magic in them, and you're able to identify that some of these designs have not been used. Some of this type of magic has not been practiced for millennia. And Tony and Helen, y'all are able to put your heads together, and you realize that Veramachius, you don't know the name in particular, but you do recognize that it sounds Thessalonian.
Thessalonian.
Just in case any of our viewers are not familiar with what Thessalonian means, would anybody like to give the 30-second lore dump?
I know a little bit. I played Rune Lords.
That's enough.
Basically, they're an ancient empire that was ruled by these wizards called Rune Lords, who were various levels of sinful. And they were part of it. There was like a time pocket that part of it existed in, and then it came back recently. So now there's New Thassalon that's just with a bunch of people that are ancient, I guess, and a bunch of interesting technology and stuff probably has come out of that sort of deal. But that's what I'm guessing. But also people, of course. So perhaps this is one of the ancient Thessalonians.
Maybe even a Rune Lord.
Maybe even a Rune Lord.
Here,
You do know enough on that society check to recognize. I'd never heard of a Rune Lord named Veramachius.
Maybe not then.
I'm doing Control F Veramachius on our PDF just to make sure I don't just to see if I have a recall knowledge DC on him beyond his level.
That's right.
I mean, not that he has a stat block, but
No, definitely not.
Yeah, no.
our final boss will be us like doing an election versus them. Like, that's going to be the final encounter or something.
That one high enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to take this info.
Does anybody have any other business in the work site before you figure out how you're going to make your exit? How are you going to make an exit now that you told them that they're causing a plague?
I think that we need to guys, we need to say somehow we're gonna go solve the plague. We need to go get the right medicines or ritual to solve the plague, and that's our exit.
Sounds like a good idea, and we could probably get some steeds or something from the Immonwood group, or some sort of form of transportation.
That's a good idea.
Probably to get back a little quicker.
That's
Oh yeah. I learned recently you're not technically supposed to use horses on the Isle of Kortos. They use camels.
Is it because why is that? Was it the goblins, the minotaurs?
I think it's just to emphasize that it's Absalom is technically not a Western based settlement. Like it's supposed to be like something Middle East type thing. Because if you look at the artwork, it's like, oh yeah, you would have camels here probably.
Okay, then yeah, we'll grab camels if we can.
If we can find camels in the woods.
I mean, they would have some that they used to pull their trucks. So, why don't we get?
Is the plan for us to just kind of lie our way out of here and then head back to the Druid camp, the Druid circle?
I'm not even sure we need to. I mean, I guess would it be worth us telling them the specifics? I mean, I guess it'd be nice, but
yeah, I mean, if they're so willing to trust us, we're going to tell them. I think.
Well, when you're crabbing it up, maybe you go run over to them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be all of. Oh, that's right. We probably find out after you've crabbed. So, yeah, you can't do that at the same time. You can crab again, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also go visit them on your way back to Marathon.
That's
like
true.
It's not on your way, but you can leave, and then once you're out of sight, double back around, and then
okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, the only other question, like, I think we fake that we're leaving to help come back with a cure or a solution, but the question is, how do we leave off with the foreman and how we've been trying to convince him that maybe he doesn't want to stay here? Is there any, like, do we need to put a final footnote on this, or have we, like, just given him enough of a nudge and that might be something for later?
Yeah, planted some seeds.
Yeah.
You've probably given him enough of a nudge. He doesn't seem like he's going to abandon this work
Okay,
site.
enough nudge for now. Okay.
But if you start to say, well, we're going to go back and gather materials, he'll kind of nudge wink. All right, well, we'll make sure to keep things ready for your return. Like we're not starting this back up anytime soon.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Good
Very
man.
good.
Plus, once you get this evidence back to Maravon, like now you'll have the law on your side. It's not going to
That's
be
true.
just you anymore.
Yeah, we just need to escape gently. So yeah.
We're off to get the parasitic and analytic units that they just came in. The Maravons.
Parasitic.
Yeah.
No, we're coming back
Brand new
with
shipment.
a cure for
I
the
just got an
disease.
Amazon notification.
Yeah.
Please be kind. Prime
Okay.
is coming out.
So to wrap up, you swing your way out of the work site. The technicians are a little bit put off that these creations that they've been working are going to have to stay shut down. You're pretty sure the foreman's on your side at this point. You've got some useful information. You swing back around to the Emin Keepers just to give them an update. And Carrie, Mist Moon, gives you their gratitude and says, we'd like to bestow upon you a parting gift to express our gratitude. And she conducts the same ritual that gave you your once per day wild shape. Does it a little bit longer, a little bit more intensely. And she has now bestowed on you a permanent once per day wild shape that you can each use. And you can use that without a focus point. So you just say, I wild shape, and boom, you've got it once per day. Not sure when that, when you'll find that useful, but y'all are very creative. So
Have you not
Use it
wished
as
to
you like.
fly like a bird
Yeah.
at some point? I feel like that's a gift in itself. You know?
when you make it back to Maravon, you're able to present this evidence, and you've got an airtight case that something shady has been going on there. The town council files an injunction with the Cortos Consortium, so they are cut off. Like that worksite is shut down permanently. No ruse necessary. Judge Ilke, whose courtroom you were in before when you were making your arguments there against Abjuration Associates, makes a ruling to allow other insurance companies to cover lumber-based work. So the strike is broken, things are back to normal, and this gives the final push in the town council for the Orcs to successfully form their lumber union, and they're able to begin significant negotiations with Maravon-based businesses. And so as you move into the next election cycle, which we'll start next time with your next campaign checks, things start to take on a very serious tone. Like, this isn't just about civic improvement anymore. There's now something serious going on in the background, and all eyes turn to the Orcs of Axide, who seem to be at the center of a much bigger plot.
Wow.
So congratulations, everybody.
It did a big thing. Oh, it's pretty
Good job,
pretty
everyone.
I'm excited to see next time what this
For sure.
truly will entail.
So on the way back to town, Bomba is very quiet, uncharacteristically quiet. And if anybody asks him about that, he'll just kind of shrug it off, and he'll just say something curt and gruff, say that he's tired or whatever, make some excuse. And then as soon as they're in the outskirts of town, he'll break off from the group and say, like, see you tomorrow. Hope everybody sleeps well and things. But actually what he's going to do is he's going to approach, in the woods, he's going to approach like a pool of water, and he looks down at himself and he sees this cloth reflection staring back at himself, and he takes a big steadying breath, and then he summons this new wild shape magic that he's been bestowed upon himself, and he for a moment he just suddenly feels this familiar heartbeat in his chest, and the world sort of tilts around him as his perspective changes, and there's a shaking sort of sigh that escapes his lips, and he mutters a prayer to Gorham for courage, and then he sort of musters that and looks up, and he looks down into the pool, and for the first time in who knows how long, he sees the face looking back at him as himself, as a dwarf. He sees his flowing red beard and his sort of blue eyes, but they look tired. You know, it looks like he's been through a lot, and he has. And he sees this look on his own face, this a kind of mixture of joy and sorrow that's striking enough that it sort of knocks the breath out of him. And for a fleeting moment, he is Bomba the dwarf again, and not this creature made of cloth, but the man that he was and the man that he still is inside. And then I can sort of imagine the reflection ripples as a single tear rolls down his cheek and drops into the water, and he knows that the magic isn't going to last. He can feel it already leaving his body, and just for a moment he is Bomba the dwarf again, and that's enough. And then the magic fails because it's not intended for that purpose, and he reverts back to his puppet form.
Wow.
There you go.
That was beautiful.
That was very
Awesome.
that was very well done.
Oh, thank you. As soon as you said about wild shape, I was thinking I was cooking something up.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
didn't know
that's
about that
insane.
ahead of time.
Yeah, there's a really
No,
good
no.
feat for that. It's pretty good.
That's really cool.
Sweet.
Thank
so
you.
sweet.
Poor Bomba.
Poor
Well,
Bomba.
Yeah, poor
one day.
Bomba.
I love what you're doing with this character.
Yeah.
Love him. He's great. Thank
Especially
you.
jovial to like the face, and then he has this
Yeah.
inner struggle that he's dealing with. Very cool.
Yeah, he's he puts on a front, you know. It's the only way that he can kind of cope with this trauma that he's undergoing. But he's in a lot of pain internally, and actually he's kind of thinking about this magic that he's got and now that's been bestowed upon him. And is it a boon? Is it a blessing? Is it a curse? Because the temptation is always going to be there for him now to just kind of turn himself back into a dwarf and know that it's only going to last seconds, because that's not what the magic is for. And so, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll dig into that a bit more.
We gotta fix Bomba.
Would he want to go back if he could, or is he learning
Well, maybe this is his arc, you know. Maybe it's actually that he realizes that there's nothing that needs to be fixed, and he's.
If you get to 1,000 faces, it's a level 4 druid feat.
Well, yeah, that's what you said. We can pick another feat. You said, right?
Yeah. So pick a feat that requires wild shape, and
There you
if
go.
it's got that strength
Well,
prerequisite, I don't think we need to hold to that because I'm giving it to you illegally.
but what I'm
anyway.
wondering is like if he
Narrative.
can sort of
Yeah.
emotionally realize that there's nothing to fix with him.
Yeah,
You know, his
yeah.
form is different, but he's Bomba is Bomba, and he'll always be that. And he doesn't need to go back to being a dwarf to be whole again.
Does he still carry around a clan dagger? I don't know if I've ever thought about that.
Oh, good question. I don't know. I'll give that some thought as well. Does he still have that, or is that a kind of too painful a memory? Or
Is it like
Because it's
a
anathema.
Is it a
Because it's
needle now?
anathema.
Yeah, just a little
yeah.
needle.
Because it's anathema to lose your clan dagger, but
Mm.
you're not a dwarf. But I don't know.
But equally, if he's not, is he?
If he doesn't
sort of
look like a dwarf and he's
forced
carrying one
taking it?
around,
I don't know. Interesting stuff. I really like the character. I'd like to continue to kind of explore in that.